Okay, so when it comes to the cytokinesis thing, there's another slight difference in story between what happens in animal cells, what happens in plant cells. And but they like to ask this sometimes in terms of, do you understand what happens in plant cells? They don't normally go on ask you too much about animal cells because it's just so simple. This is what happens in animal cells. It's literally one point to be made is that usually during the end, towards the end of telophase, but not necessarily, could be after mitosis has happened entirely, is that you get the formation of this cleavage furrow. It's basically a pinching, right, of the cell membrane. Because remember, they don't have a cell wall, so it's kind of straightforward enough. You get this pinching it, laying down of cell wall, cell membrane material, as the cell sort of, has these indents, and a new membrane material is laid down so that now the cell can, the cell can split into two individual cells around the two now newly formed nuclei. With plant cell division, it's a bit more complicated. So remember, they've got a cell wall to deal with. So they have to reform this cell wall before they can split in two fully. So in order to, what happens is, again, usually sometime during the end of mitosis, these little sort of packages, these little membrane-bound little bubbles of membrane containing cell wall-making materials, basically, they start to line up along the middle of the cell. Okay, so each of the ends of the cell has got a full set of chromosomes now, and the nucleus is developing around it, probably because it's the end of telophase. And these, in the middle of the cell, you get these vesicles starting to appear, to move to the middle, and they contain the materials to make what's called a cell plate. So the cell plate is like think of it like a kind of like a scaffold or a template on which to build new cell wall material. And that's exactly what happens. But there's another thing that you should know, is that what also is needed, the cell needs to also lay down materials that form a kind of a glue that holds one cell wall, that attaches one cell wall to its neighboring cell wall. And we call that the middle lamella, right? And I referred to it in the first session, where calcium is needed to form this kind of cement to hold two cells together. So it's formed actually during this, during cytokinesis, is you get this new layers of cell wall material being laid down, and then you get the middle lamella in between those. So that's it's cell vesicles leading to a cell plate, which leads to a cell wall held together by the middle lamella. That's the cell division story.